welcome to another installment of Metalhead Central, the show where I take an honest look at the harder side of music and give it an honest rating. Well, as you can tell by my shirt and my attitude, I am pumped for today's review. It's one of my most anticipated albums of the year, and so you know I had to give it its due diligence. It's Five Finger Death Punch's latest effort, Fate, or F8 as it's been stylized, released February 28th on Better Noise. Now, those of you who watch me on a regular basis know of the soft spot in my heart for this band and the way they combine heaviness with a melodic atmosphere. They're also one of the only metal bands to have a good deal of commercial success, and I must say, I respect that. But I'm giving this album the same treatment that I give everything around here. If I love it, I'll say so. If I hate it, I'll do the same. The album begins on a very strong note. The first three songs, all released as radio singles, are fantastic, and it feels like the band picked up right where they left off with Injustice for None. Melodies lace their way through the aggression, and Ivan Moody's vocals sound terrific. Living the Dream might be one of my favorite Death Punch songs ever, featuring everything I love about this band, including their affinity for the more acoustic side of things. Then the album hits a bumpy patch, starting with the track a little bit off. Overall, it's a solid track, but then the next couple just don't feel like they belong here. Bottom of the Top, while lyrically a hilarious attack on those who feel that this band isn't metal enough, feels mediocre musically. I'm used to grand and anthemic choral work from this band, and this one felt like it was trying too hard to be ironically aggressive and get its message across. The songs To Be Alone and Mother May I TikTok sort of redeemed this band as they return to a semblance of the bounce that I love about them. It's not quite back there, but it's heading in the right direction. The album ends on the same kind of roller coaster. Darkness Settles In is an absolutely fantastic ballad filled to the brim with this acoustic honesty that I feel like is missing in metal. You know, we're normally so obsessed with heaviness and brutality that we're unwilling to allow ourselves to explore that largely ignored dimension of musicality. But that's a topic for another video. That's followed up by This Is War, another attempt at overexerted aggression that falls way short of the mark. Then you've got Leave It All Behind and Scar Tissue, which both display the band's talent when it comes to songwriting. Again, that melodic and aggressive ballads comes into play, and it works very well. And finally, we have Brighter Side of Grey, and the record ends on a very, very strong note, with another exploration into that acoustic dimension. It's got a beautiful chorus to it as well. Overall, this album was nowhere near as good as Injustice for None was, nor any of their previous work. I keep seeing reviews online touting this as their best album ever, but I gotta firmly disagree. There's a hollowness to this entire record, and it's rather, I hate to say it, but it's disappointing. I just remember the catchiness and the amazing songs that I've loved by this group over the years, and this album focuses more on riding the emotional roller coaster than staying its lane and playing to the band's strengths, namely sing-along choruses and great songwriting. Now, that's not to say that this album is terrible or bottom of the barrel. Far from it. It's just not the greatest Death Punch album of all time. In my mind, that honor goes to American Capitalist. The good news is that when the songs are great, they're really, really great. The bad news is, when they're bad, they're really bad. The lyricism also follows the same roller coaster-like path. Terrific on some, terrible on others. But then again, that's been the story on their previous albums, and it's not exactly the highlight of this band. In light of all that, I'm giving Fate by Five Finger Death Punch an 80 out of 100 on the YPS. Pains me as a huge fan of this band to give it a lower score than it should have been, because it should have been a better album, but I mean, it just didn't live up to some of the incredible music I've heard from this band in the past. There have been better Death Punch albums. Thank you so much for watching. Click like, and don't forget to subscribe for more Metalhead Central content. Next week, we're doing a sharp 180 from Five Finger Death Punch and heading into Doom territory with My Dying Bride's new album, The Ghost of Orion. I'm going to be examining it, and I hope you'll join me. You've been watching Metalhead Central, where I give honest ratings to honest music, and I'll see y'all next time.